Hello and welcome to round 3 at Spa for IRL FP. Today we have quite a full grid, and I'm also joined by Tim Bruce-Stalins. Of course, today Thomas, I think, wanted some time off, so I'm kind of filling in for him. So hopefully it'll be a good race. And get some
hopefully.
good racing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess good racing hopefully today. Spa is definitely a track where good racing is, especially on the camel straight and through a rouge. Maybe we see 1-2 battles going wheel to wheel through a rouge. Would be interesting to see, and yeah, hopefully drivers have stable setups to go full speed through a rouge. It will be interesting to see it.
That will be a factor as well, because having a little more unstable of a setup might give you a little extra turn in. But of course, as you set up through a rouge, you want to be full throttle, but you want to be nice and planted as well, because it is still possible to spin it, especially if you go up on the curb on the inside. So yeah, it's certainly something to look out for, and hopefully we don't end up with a massive crash on lap 1 there.
Yeah, that wouldn't be that much great, and I think through turn 12 it is the fast double left-hander is a corner where you need a stable setup too. So yeah, it's a hard track for the drivers, but it also makes fun, I would say.
Yeah, and also on the curb there, like another curb. Of course, it is very easy to spin on. Car doesn't quite like. Well, really, car doesn't like high speed corners when you go up on the curb. So yeah, turns like that will certainly upset the car, at least, unless you have nice stable setup. So in terms of the championship, I don't fully know what the situation is. Of course, this is the first commentary that I've done for FP, so...
Yeah, we have Gerald Fosbury leading, 1 point ahead of Vico Meyer, who got the double podium because of time penalties. Maybe we see him today again on the podium. He says no, because of Belgium is not a good track, and then comes Sean O'Sullivan with a little gap from 13 points behind Gerald Fosbury. So yeah, Gerald has a little, I would say, not comfortable lead in a championship, but it's we are looking to the other drivers who are coming then behind with 18 points. There with Gerald Fosbury with 34. Yeah, a little nice gap, but yeah, he needs to get consistency, getting good points, high points, and yeah, maybe he's in the end the championship winner. But in round 3, it's not a job to say who is winning the championship, but yeah, we have the first few guys who are getting big points, and yeah, the midfield is also very close. So yeah, hopefully we have another race, another winner, and yeah.
And interesting right now, Gerard Fosbury leading the championship, but him and Callum don't have enough points quite to be leading the constructors. That is actually led by SK Racing. I'm not sure if that's an abbreviation for something, but Casper and Wico Mayer are the constructors leaders at the moment, at least. So maybe there's a bit of a thing brewing between two of them. Of course, each of the teams has taken a win apiece. I think the first round, it looks like, was won by Sean O'Sullivan. I guess.
If I remember right, it is, and yes, it is Sean O'Sullivan. The second round was Gerald Fosbury with 2/10 clear of Felix Neber, who was also strong last week. Maybe he's one of the challenger for Gerald today. But yeah, we need to see. Because of last week, I was really surprised. I thought, yeah, maybe from round 1, So Sean O'Sullivan or the guys who was on top of the field could be the same on pace in the second round. But yeah, we got a completely different podium. Rico was on both podiums, but yeah, interesting to see the driver mix. Yeah, and every week some drivers like Jared Fosbury today gets another car. He switched from Mercedes to the Ferrari. Maybe that will break him a little bit down. But yeah, it's interesting to see how the race today will look.
Yeah, and as we do get going, seems a little bit late, but I guess as long as there's a race, that is the main thing. So it looks like we also got a pretty full grid as well, so that's always nice to see. Still loading in. Load times do seem a bit longer in this game compared to last game, I think, as well. So
yes, in terms of strategy, I think there will be a little mix. I think on Spa you can easily do the soft medium strategy, but also starting on mediums and then going to the soft is in my eye the better strategy. But I think only the guys who are starting out of the top 10 will maybe think about it. So yeah.
and there's also a thing of if there's an early safety car, it could be a better strategy to go on the hards and take them to the end. I have seen at least on the previous game that can be a strategy that works out. Because of course,
Yes.
they don't really lose pace. I mean, they're not necessarily quick, but they don't lose pace that much by the end. Because they got so much extra rubber. So yeah, that could be a strategy that we could see. Of course, that kind of does require a safety car, and hopefully we kind of don't see any, because I'd rather nice close racing rather than a safety car kind of deciding the race. But that happens sometimes, so I guess we'll see. As it looks like Lewis is the first one. Oh no, he's not. Ferrari of
We have Lee.
Lee.
I think it's
Lee Kelly, first one to be on a lap with the Red Bull of who. Well, it looks like Red Bull. It might be Novatori.
It's Novatori.
Hyper. Oh, okay. So it is Novatori behind him. Who might actually benefit from Slipstream.
And we have a few guys already out on mediums. It's interesting to see. So yeah, like we have hyper refs on mediums as well. So yeah, early safety car, as you said, could be splitting off the whole strategy field. So yeah, we got a few safety cars in the last last 2 rounds. So I think at least we will have one today because it's Spa, and but it will be interesting to see which drivers deciding for which strategy, because of when you're starting on softs and then comes the early safety car, you can also do the medium strategy. But I think on Spa it will be better when you're doing, as we said already, hard compounds and stretching to the end.
Okay, I was gonna pick up Lee. I thought he was gonna be the first one to settle up, but it looks like in the end he let Hyper through. So I guess he's gonna be second. But and he's actually invalidated already. So yeah, that is another thing about our route, that if you kind of counteract your car, make sure that you don't spin. It is very easy to cut the inside of Radion on the slight left-hander at the top of the hill, and Lee has done just that. So we will go to Hyper in the AlphaTauri. He hasn't invalidated his lap just yet, as he is coming through Sector 2, middle of Sector 2. As you were talking about the double left-hander from earlier, very easy to spin.
Yeah, he's gone through it. Since now his lap is looking very good on a medium tire, but in the end, the lap time matters and not how the lap was. So now he's first gone out on track. Obviously, he has the purple sectors in, but it will be interesting to see because if we have only him, Shane and Renham were fitted the medium tires and are out on track. Shane isn't, but yeah.
So through the final chicane, bus stop chicane. What can he do? He will set a 44.7, given also he is on the soft tires, or medium I mean. So of course people on softs would be beating as Lewis goes first pole position now with a 43.8. We'll see who's next across the line. I'm going to go on board with Casper. Not sure if he's the very next one, as Harry Cooper now goes pole. Casper goes right behind him with a 43.5. Cooper with a 43.3, just about almost exactly 2/10 quicker. As Logan Arendt goes even a little bit quicker, almost a tenth quicker than Harry.
Felix Negber is coming close to the line, which I'm really set on the soft tires. Only P6 for him with 45.4. The slowest of the sub runner so far. So next, I think it's Red Runner who hasn't validated.
I'm on board with Cameron Young now. He's just run out of ERS coming into the bus stop. We'll see what he can do. Of course, he won't be getting boost out of his corner. Activating DRS. Can he put it on pole? No, he'll put it himself in P6 with a 44.1. So not quite in the 43s just yet, but I'm sure they'll be able to do that.
Look at the gap between Logan and Jared. It's very close. Yeah, it's 3 thousandths, no, 300th of a second.
That is very true, so close between them two. I'm not sure if Logan was up there in the championship, although he may have missed some races. Have a look, Logan. He hasn't actually got too many points, but right now it looks like he has a little bit of an advantage, so maybe he'll be able to go on and score some good points. Of course, the car you're in can have an effect on if you can get points or not. AlphaTauri, I think, is a pretty good car. I think you'll be able to do good things with that today. Of course, on provisional pole, half the grid setting a time, the other half not quite. A few people getting invalidations, of course, as I can see Kieran Spears shifting quite slowly. 8th gear.
Yeah, since the ERS and not shifting the gears, so we don't do that, I think. Yeah, but you say already a few invalidations. Belgium is a track where with time penalties it's not that much easy to get some, but through a route I think there will be flying through a few 3-second time penalties in. But I think that should be the only corner where you really get easy time penalties. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, I was gonna go on board with Tom, but he's also invalidated. Somewhere looks like in the first sector that he got the invalidation. So my guess would be Radion, as we saw Lee invalidated there just at the start of this quality session. So definitely possible, and people kind of proving it. So maybe penalties will also be a factor in this race, although I wouldn't think that penalties would be so much. Of course, if Sondre is in the chat, he'll completely disagree with that. Because I've heard him saying that it's definitely possible to get penalties. But yeah, I guess we'll see. as Lee is on another lap. If you want to take him, Tim.
Yeah, was just watching our birthday kid, Rostanum. He was hurt and he crashed out in the last sector. So yeah, there he is going to the fast, right and left hander. Turn 30, 40 and 15. Now going to turn 16. Was a bit on the curb, lost a bit at the back, but saved it. Now the way to push more. We will, I think, go out of ERS at the end of this lap. But it's really interesting which time we set on soft tires. Coming out to the bus stop chicane. Getting a good exit. And which time we set. 144.8. And that's put him into P12. 2 times behind Shane on mediums, so that was interesting. This one I have Kieran Spears, should be this time. Oh, he slides a bit through the chicane. Let's look what he can do. The 30 fastest. Will be next. Should be even McGregor.
It looked like maybe the Red Bulls were going to do a bit of slipstream there, but actually no, they're not. I forgot that despite being in the same car, that doesn't mean they're in the same team, because the way it works is your teammate could be in a low car and you could be in a high car. Kind of forgot about that.
Check that shortly. So yeah, Kieran Spears is, for example, in the meme team. Sean O'Sullivan, and Sean O'Sullivan is.
As someone went quicker, I'm not sure who though.
I think it's Renault of Harold.
Yeah, Harry Cooper. I think. Well, no, he's actually on a lap right now. It looks like, so I don't think it was him, but someone went quicker anyway. We'll see. We'll pick up Harry, see if he can go quicker. There's a car just in front of him. Might get a bit of slipstream off him. Might get a bit of dirty air as he goes wide and actually invalidates.
Yeah, that's the thing. He comes wide in this. I don't know which one. Is Puhon? I don't know. It is right, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's the only corner.
The double left is the fast double left is Puhon. You're right there. There's a Haas round. Was that Lewis? It was. So Lewis spins round at the exit of turn 1. Obviously a bit of loss of traction. He is currently P8.
But someone right in the chat with a wet race. It was Kieran Spears. With a wet race. When everyone has fitted the soft on, it's typically for normal car qualifying that everyone gets the soft on for the lap. But if you have a wet race, the will spice things definitely up. And Lewis invalidated his lap. It's obviously, but yeah, with possible rain in the race, yeah, it will be interesting to see.
I just saw Miller on fair. I will have a look at the names just before the race. But yeah, a little bit of a correction just at the end of Sector 2. I'm not sure what turn it is. I think it's turn 13 or 14. A little bit of a correction. This will help out his lap. He's currently 9th. And it looks like he's actually going to come into the pit. So he has given up on that lap.
Whoa.
Unfortunately.
I was on board with Tom in the Red Bull and he came in... Which turn it is? In turn 16, a bit wide and didn't invalidate it. Okay, that's interesting, but he's coming to the bus stop chicane to set, hopefully, for him a faster lap than he has actually. Lost it back a bit and didn't improve on his time. The next
I'm
one
on
should
board
be
with Logan. He's obviously put himself on provisional pole. He'll be looking to extend his advantage at the top. Jared is on an outlap. He'll be looking. Oh, and he's invalidated again. Just
Ross
where
Denholm goes fastest. Our birthday kid today with a 142.9, so we broke the 42 mark. Good to see him.
that would be a nice birthday present starting on pole. I'm sure Logan could have went quicker, but just like Harry and a few others as well, invalidating at Puon, not getting the exit quite right, and going a little wide, so he'll be coming into the pits now, as he does. Will he have enough time? He will have enough time for another lap, just about, I'd say.
Rain. Do you see it on the halos? There's a bit of rain in the qualifying.
There is rain.
Quinlan said a few moments ago, his time was 14 fastest. The only driver who hasn't set that line right now is Cameron Armstrong in 90 for the McLaren, so he needs to get fast to the line. But I think it will be too late because of the rain. Is getting a bit harder.
I saw Shane in the Mercedes. He is on soft tires now. He's set actually a purple Sector 2. I just went on board with him in the Merc. Can he put it maybe on pole as did you say Reese or Royce for Mystic?
Ross.
Ross, okay. So yeah, Ross currently on pole. Can Shane do anything about his pole as he's very squeamish?
Crashed out in turn 16, I think it is.
Shane puts it on pole. You were saying someone crashed. I didn't quite catch that.
Yes, Casper in the racing point. He came wide in turn 16, and then on the right-hander, where he normally came wide out with the car, he lost it back and then crashed into the wall.
Ah, I see him, yeah.
So it's qualifying over for him. Hopefully he can hold 7th place. But I think now we have the time where the softs are not that much fast. If you guys
and
already.
yeah, I've just caught Jared Fosbury spinning as well. I'm not completely sure what turn that was. That was turn 11. At the exit of turn 11, losing it on traction. So that is his day over as well.
Qualifying should be over now because of got drivers fighting for grip for anything. That's not great to see.
And there's Ewan McGregor also spinning around. Obviously
the only guy who can manage.
And
when you're going under the him.
Now Cameron Young is just doing donuts. So
nice to see.
looks like Shane has pole position then. Doesn't look like anyone. It looks like Shane's just kind of celebrating now. I saw him doing a little weave on the straight. Yeah, he knows he's on pole. And he's gonna crash.
And he crashed out, so we're waiting only for you. So yeah, Shane will celebrating a bit. I'm happy for him that he got pole today. It's really nice to see. So yeah, then Rico is retiring from the session. Then we can go to the race.
I'm gonna get this spreadsheet up now so I can get a better idea of the driver names. But
so
Shane,
should I read it?
Yeah, you can. You know the names better than me.
So yeah, we have Shane Clare on pole, led of his teammate Ross Denholm, Logan Aaron, Jared Fosbury. I don't know the name of her. You know, Wieke Meyer, Casper, Ewan McGregor, Felix Negler. Then again, I don't know his name. Baron Flair, Lewis, Tom Jewell, Cameron Young, Louis Quinlan, Lee Kelly, I think it is, Kieran Spears, Tom, and Cameron Armstrong was settled. Got some time to set a lap time, so yeah. That's our grid for the race. And yeah, let's have a look if Kieran has right with writing in the chat that we have a rain race. And it is. That's interesting. And it
Yeah,
looks like that we have full wet conditions.
Yeah, that will certainly spice it up.
So then my predictions are 5 drivers at least will crash out in a Rouge. Oh my god, Belgium in rain.
I'm gonna up that and say closer to 7. I know that I have done some laps in the rain around this circuit. Rouge is really not fun, and also Pouin as well. They're very they're not a fun time on the when you get on the throttle. You have to be really, really smooth with it, and yeah, I'm sure that we'll see people spinning quite a lot. And if there isn't a safety car, I will be very, very surprised.
Yes. Yeah, and yeah, I'm very happy that I'm not driving these conditions right now. Oh my god, Belgium in rain. I'm feeling with the drivers. It's horrible, and it not looks like that it will dry up in the next few minutes. Yeah, and it's full wet conditions, as I said already. That will be interesting, but with a bit of a feeling from the qualifying.
Oh, and someone already crashing. That was Ross Tenholm at the top of Rouge on the formation lap. He lost it into the wall. I think maybe he might have avoided it, but nonetheless, oh, you can see him drifting around the corners. If anyone didn't know it was raining and they have a dry setup right now, they are probably going to be crying. Because it's really not going to be a fun time if you have a dry setup in this.
Look at Rico and Casper, both on intermediates. Okay, that's interesting to see. And they've predicted pit stop strategy. I didn't saw the really good thing on the 12 animals. But yeah, podium predictions. Are you able to do a prediction for the race win?
I am. I'm gonna do a bit of a bold prediction and say that the strategy that Wico Mayer and Casper Klein is on, opting for the Inters, is going to end up being better, and they're going to end up getting a huge advantage, and that everyone else is going to have to pit onto Inters very soon, and then they'll be able to go through and have a much better strategy for the overall race. So I'm going to say that they've done a wonder strategy. So Wico ahead of Casper for first and second, and third I am going to put Logan Arendt starting third. I think he'll get caught up because, as I said, I think maybe the strategy will be right, and I'm chancing that it is right.
It will be interesting what Wico and Casper are doing. So I will nearly say the same. I'm saying that Casper will win the race ahead of Logan and Jared. But after Jared, then I think we have Wico, because of his set last week in the interviews that he's not really got on the track.
I just want to mention the camera angle that I have now. It's like I can barely see the grid. It's like 2,000 miles away from the grid. Like, the camera may as well be above turn 1. But anyway, everyone's lined up. Hopefully it fixes itself. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix, and it's lights out, and away we go. It doesn't look like anyone's really struggling too much on traction. Shane leads in third one. Logan gets past Ross Stenholm there, and Harry's also trying to make it as Ross goes really off the track. And it seems that a lot of people going off track, actually. really struggling with traction. So right now, actually, Tom leads ahead of Shane and ahead of Logan,
Yeah,
Harry, and
there's a big
Ross. And has
glitch.
anyone spun going up? Looks like no one actually has.
No, and I has an eye on the back of the grid. Most of the guys close to each other, but we have a few guys already going wheel to wheel through a rouge. It will be interesting if they can do this moves working. Yeah, it was a bad start from
Shane.
Boston.
Tom wasn't actually
and there's
leading.
Tom.
Tom was. Wait, was Tom leading? Or
No, he wasn't. The grid was glitched, and we have a VSC because of Tom Jewel and the other Tom in the Red Bull crashed out, both with no wing. It won't help them.
So
Yeah, well, as
virtual.
we said, Casper and Rico are struggling a bit. Both fall down a few positions. So yeah, the biggest gain got Cameron Young and Lewis. And the biggest loser is obviously Rico and Tom Jewel. Yeah. Oh, that was between Casper and Cameron really close.
Oh, it looks like Shane hasn't got a good restart, and Logan's going to be right on the back of him, maybe. Coming down the back straight, I'm not completely sure what it's actually called. Shane's actually spun. Has he hit the wall?
God.
No, he's kept it out of the wall.
Yes,
but he loses out to Harry and Logan as Ross Denholm retires. Shane goes really, really deep. He gets a 3-second pen.
Okay, he got no wing damage. It's good for him. But Ross Denholm.
Oh, and now Harry's... No, that's just a glitch. Never mind. Harry is in second. And Shane is in third. That should fix itself in a second, hopefully. As Jared Fosbury, one of two to stay put. Only him and Miller unfair to stay in the position that they started in. Everyone else either losing out, like Riku and Casper certainly have, because their inter seems to not be working. As there's another virtual safety car, and Cameron Young, you were mentioning is quite, quite good start. He's out of this race. He's looked to have spun at the top of Eau Rouge, coming through Radion, that kind of area. So it seems that is his race over, unfortunately.
Now my grid is right. So yeah, as I wanted to say, I'm feeling bad for Ross. Our birthday kid today was second on the grid, but then the weather conditions wasn't his best friend today, so yeah, I'm feeling bad for him. But there's Logan's leading the race when you see that. So Shane is already losing out a few positions.
It'll be a kind of thing to watch of Wiku and Casper. Like when will their inters become better is the question that really you would be thinking. Because if they do, then and some people might realize it, and then as Harry almost spins.
Yeah, we have Lewis and even McGregor fighting for 6th place. It was really to his route turn 16, but they kept it clean. And we have Felix Negber in P5. Good start again from him. Maybe we see him again.
On this lap, Louis Quinlan, I think it is, and Harry Cooper both in the Reynolds for today, both spinning on the not so flat left-hander, coming down the back straight as he gets overtaken almost by Lee Kelly.
That was close.
Lee Kelly has it just about. It looks like he is going to have to back out coming up Eau Rouge, because you will certainly not want to be side by side going through there, especially in this rain. And he's almost lost it again. He's been able to save it.
And what is going on with Shane? He's losing 2 oh my god, what is happening? Was overtaken by Felix and Jared on the camera straight. Nearly crashed at the braking point into Felix, looking for a move into the slow right-hander. These tricky conditions, it will be interesting to see who's our fastest man today, but for
Well, right now,
looks like it.
right now it looks like Logan is
Yeah.
really gelling with the wet conditions. So he's got a just over a 4 second, almost 4.5 second gap, and it's really increasing. As we saw Harry struggling last lap, doesn't look like Logan's really struggling at all. As he sets a purple sector 2 on here on lap 3, and I would say that's going to be a common theme throughout this race in setting purple sectors, because it doesn't look like anyone's really on it as much as him.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, he has, as he gets passed by Lee Kelly down to 9th now. He won't be allowed to join back, unfortunately, because of the glitch. Again, thank you, Codemasters, really appreciate it. But yeah, he is now out of this race, and he will drop down the order
Logan,
as
fastest lap.
Kieran goes past him yet. He gets the fastest lap, almost 2-minute flat, was it? So, could be getting into the 1 minute soon.
Zero flat. It looks like that Logan, he's building on every point. He's working on his gap, so he feels comfortable in this these conditions. But how the track looks like a bit drying up, so maybe it could be in the next few moments that we have intermediate conditions. It will be interesting to see, and the rain is not that heavy like at the start of the race. So yeah, maybe we see the track drying more and more up, that we have maybe in the end soft conditions or something else. And we are on lap 4 and we hasn't gotten safety car at least. Interesting.
Yeah, and it looks like I will check. Yeah, Felix Negwar having quite a good start, and also Cameron Armstrong. He started last, he didn't get a time in, and he's up to 9th place, up 10 positions. Lee Kelly's up 8, up into 8th place, so started 16th for him, up into, as I said, 8th, so yeah, 16th, up into 8th, 8 positions gained. A lot of 8s there, multiples of 8 and stuff, I don't know. As Shane gets another 3-second penalty, that's his second one. Lewis doesn't look to be actually catching him though, so maybe Shane has gotten a bit more used to the rain. Speaking of getting used to the okay, I'm sorry, commentator's curse. He's just crashed out right after I said he was getting used to the rain.
Commentator's curse,
I apologize, Shane.
Nearly Louis Quinlan was going into Shane's car. He lost it and Ploshimore. Commentator's curse.
I apologize, Shane. Oh my god, that's someone's gonna clip that. I know someone's gonna clip that. Is he going
through intermediates? Yes, he is. So yeah, that's interesting to see. Maybe now Casper and Rico gets the better tire, and Felix was completely in the pits under the VC, timed that really good. And maybe we see him up there again this week after his good start, getting 4 positions already in the first few laps. It will be interesting with this strategy to see who's going. We have Tom Drew also in the pits, and we see it's really long, nearly a whole lap. And now we have conflict racing. But yeah, in front of the field we have Miron Player, behind Lewis, Poppy 4.
And we are back to racing after that restart, the virtual safety car restart. Harry's actually gained back about 5/10, I think, but I would assume at least that Logan is gonna pull that gap back, because his setup seems quite good for the rain. It has to be said, as you can see he is gaining pretty much everywhere, just little bits in each corner, and that kind of amounts to like probably like half a second to a second a lap. I won't lie. So he's doing quite well. Jared Fosbury, the championship leader, if I remember correctly, isn't he?
Yes.
And speaking of the championship leader, he is now coming into the pits on lap 6.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I was a bit of the lap on board with Felix, and he is. Yeah, it looks like he's on the same level with Rico. Rico started out with Felix older, but
Oh
Felix
yeah,
has so much
it is.
grip.
It's time for enters. Yeah,
setting couple sectors at least. So yeah, I think and he's coming out ahead of Jared. So I think Felix has got a right call. Good job from him. Maybe he can. It's a bit unrealistic, but maybe he can get P2 or P1 after the ball.
Well, it does have to be said though. Snick's, it's Wico. Wico and Casper's strategies now don't look too bad, because Felix was up in 4th. He has come out behind Wiku. Only just behind. I'd say if Logan pit now, he would retain the net lead at least. So I don't think they'll quite gain the lead, but their strategy has worked out for them in the long run at least. Of course, Felix's tires will be 5 laps fresher, and same with Jared's. But they have certainly put themselves in a pretty good position.
Oh, Felix lost it! But he saved it. Oh my god, that was close. Oh, he saved it completely. Nearly he was in the wall, but he saved it. He won't touch this curb again. We spoke at the beginning of the race. The double left-hander on turn 12.
You can see between Wiku and Louis Quinn that Wiku has so much more grip through like a pretty fast corner. Like you only have to brake for it. He's just so much quicker. As interestingly, Logan stays out on the wets, despite the inters pretty clearly being quicker. He's stayed on the wets and set the fastest lap. So maybe he knows something that we don't know. Maybe it's gonna get a bit heavier again. As I thought he was almost gonna lose it, but he's fine.
Yeah, I thought that normally that the track's drying up. It is, but the rain picked up a bit more, I think. That will be interesting in terms of strategy, who's staying out on wets or who's pitting for wets and who's pitting for inters.
Yeah,
it will be interesting to see.
The gap between Wico and Logan, currently 22 seconds. It looks like he is closing the gap, as a little lock-up from Wiku there going at the end of the hangar straight. But it looks like he's quicker right now. So maybe he'll come out in the lead.
And I think when I'm remembering right, you're losing between 24 and 26 seconds in the pits in Belgium because of the bit longer pit entry. So yeah, it will be definitely interesting to see, but when you're looking at these gaps, then you see that all Inter is closing down the gap to Logan, so maybe Logan's coming in this lap, but if he's going into overtake mode. So yeah,
so Louis Quinn gets another pen, well maybe not another, but he gets a pen anyway, and so does Cameron Armstrong.
He is Logan coming into the pits. Nearly touched the wall a bit, but
and so everyone else on wets will be coming in this lap. It looks like Kieran Spears should be following them as well, and Cameron Armstrong. Yeah, the final few on the wets. Yeah.
So now let's have a look at Rico. Logan's now on the pit exit, going now on track, and he's a bit ahead of Rico, but it's not that much. And Felix needs to fight with Harry.
Oh, and yeah, Felix gets past Harry. Harry was running second by staying out. He has lost out. So Well, I mean, I was almost right saying that the people who started on just would have a pretty good strategy. They didn't quite get a lead a 1-2, but I mean, one of them is in second and the other one's in fifth.
Yeah, we missed it. Quinlan crashed out. Lost him on. So yeah, I would say for Rico the strategy worked good. Maybe for Casper he's in fifth. He's started 8th, I think. So it
he started 7th.
7th. He took
And
position,
Snixel in 6th.
But they both
Riku.
need to go to the pits because of you need to do one stop. Maybe in the end of the race when the track is trying more up and up, it will be interesting to see how the track is going to be at the end. Because of right now the rain is coming not much heavy down, so yeah, it will be interesting. The weather and strategy as well. If Kieran is the glitch, no, Kieran is really only one. He's getting time penalty after time penalties because of his own out on the wet compounds. Yeah. The closest battle on track is between Casper.
Oh, Snixel just set the fastest lap.
Yeah,
he's running in second, behind Logan. So maybe he is catching. I mean, his tires are 8 laps older. Of course, Logan will now have a lap to be able to push on his first inter, so we'll see what he
Look
can
at
do.
the gap between them. He's building on every point more and more seconds.
Yeah, the last lap it looked like Wiki was closing a little, but I guess Logan has started to really use his tires now after they've warmed up a little, maybe, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's about to set another fastest lap.
Our closest battle is between Casper, Jared, and Lewis for P5. And Jared's close to Casper, but not able to go on the outside. Yeah, they both are on fresh intermediates, and I think it looks like they can feel it.
And Jared clipped the curb as Casper gets a penalty. It looked like Jared kind of followed his line, so Jared may have got a warning from that. He was following very closely behind Jared as well, so he'll be looking for any opportunity to get past Lee Kelly. If anything happens to this train in front of him, he could get involved. As Lewis gets up a little bit on the curb, that won't help his run down this back straight.
Yeah, I'm checking out now the times for the throttle section. So everyone on track who has fitted the intermediates, setting green sectors, as we have Jared Fosbury in the last stop chicane going wheel to wheel at the exit. Because we lost it a bit, it cost him time. So didn't make the move working for him. That's really everyone setting green times. It's good to see it.
Yeah, now because of that fighting, Lee Kelly is caught up, and also Miller Fair, who I'm going to get the name of right now because I'm getting a little annoyed if not knowing his name. Brandon Viejes. We'll call them Brandon. For easy.
What is that?
Miller Fair is Brandon.
And we have Jared Fosbury going on inside on Casper, and he's ahead of him. So maybe Casper is holding up the drivers behind Jared, so that will help Jared maybe. But it could be that Casper can stay in the little gap between him and Jared.
He didn't get a great run through that corner, Casper. And he'll have to be doing some defending from Lewis, and Lewis goes right round the outside. If he pulls this move off, it's going to be an incredible move to watch. He's going to keep going around the outside. Can he go down the inside now and finish off this overtake? He gets up on the curb a little bit. That won't help him out. He's going to have the outside line once again, arguably the better line, and he is going to make that move. What a move from Lewis there.
What a move. What a race. Race they would be racing between these two. Fair enough from both. But Lewis is the smarter guy. So yeah, but Casper needs to watch out for Lee. And as I said, Jared was able to build a
Lee's got a run on Casper as well. Lee's going to look for the inside. He is going to get down the inside. He's going to after the outside for the second part of the bus stop. He's going to go wide a little bit though. And that will actually allow Brandon to get a run on him. And now he's lost a position instead of gaining one. As
and he's going down the inside on Brandon.
Cameron tries to get involved 3 wide right now.
Yeah, oh my god, please not screw Rouge. Oh my god, that will be crucial. Yeah, and Cameron
Casper will be glad that happened because that gives him a bit of breathing space as well. As is that Harry getting past? Or...
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so Harry passing Felix, it looks
and
like.
You're right, on the inside of
losing out.
Casper, round the outside, now we have the inside line, he cuts the corner a bit, but Casper got the better exit. I got a nice view from the helicopter camera and is
and Cameron tries to get involved again. He's going to go around the outside of Brandon, as Brandon was maybe looking for some space, and actually it's going to crash. Cameron losing his back end and going into Brandon. Brandon has wing damage, so does Cameron. Cameron Armstrong.
That's sad for them both, especially for Brandon, who has nothing done wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional from Cameron. He obviously lost the back end, but I mean, in these wet conditions, it's very easy to do. I don't think he intended that. It's very, very unfortunate for the both of them. Well, I mean, it allows Casper to have quite a lot of breathing space now. He can relax a bit more and try and follow Lee through. Speaking of Lee, because of all that fighting, Lewis has got away a lot more from that train that he was in, I'm pretty sure, at one point. So Lewis following quite closely behind Jared as well as he loses back end a little bit. As the pit window for people starting on the Inter should be open now. Snixel, Rico, I mean, should be
Luis lost it! Oh, he saved it. Oh, he was managing to save it. He lost it out of turn 1. But he saved his car at least. And yeah, as I said, because of the pit strategies with the intermediates, Casper and Rico both need to pit as well. I said it a few laps earlier. And as we saw in Casper, the intermediates don't will be feeling great at the moment.
They will be allowed to go to the end. Obviously, if you use a wet compound, you have fulfilled the required compounds, because that kind of cancels it out. So they could go to the end, but their tires will be completely gone and will probably puncture. So I don't think it's a good idea. But what could be a good idea, though, if it gets dry enough by the end, they could be going to the wet period, which means that Riku will be taking his inters there, maybe, and he'll retain his net P2 if that happens. So obviously right now Harry closing in, it is drying up, and of course his fresh inters will be able to the advantage he has will be able to show a little bit more compared to when it was a bit more slippery and people were just kind of sliding everywhere. He'll be able to use the grip a little bit more now, and you can see how much he's gaining. I wouldn't be surprised if he was if he made a move soon as Brandon gets a 3-second pen, but we'll stay on board with Harry Cooper though.
Yeah, I think Rico will definitely be trying to hold these intermediates until the end of the race. or maybe for a short last try session. So want to relax maybe, but if the ideal line is drying up really, but yeah, it's the rain who has the effect over it. So yeah, we need to look how the weather is changing.
Yeah, and it looks like soon it will stop raining. It is raining right now, I think. Yeah, it is definitely raining still, but it is certainly it's certainly clearing up. Sky looks a little brighter, so yeah, we could see a dry patch on its way. But when that necessarily happens, will be key, because I'm sure Weaker won't want to stay on these tires too much longer, especially with Harry breathing down his neck, and also Felix. Once if Weaker's tires get that bad, that Felix will be wired up behind him as well.
Yeah, and as you said, I saw in the even that we have coming a bit sun.
Oh, and Harry's lost the back end, and
please no wing damage.
he
yes,
does not have wing damage, but he has lost a lot of time, and that will allow Wiku to really relax now, as he has about a 4-second gap to Felix.
As a listener, I wanted to say it looks like the sun is coming out in a few minutes maybe, and I'm pretty sure if we have a dry end of the race with soft conditions, then I will say that Rico, Guts, and maybe Casper too, about the strategy, a master call because of aiming that so precision. Because not going to the wets and risk it, trying a few laps on intermediates and wet conditions is a big challenge, and then holding these tires until the end that you can go on soft, and then getting a podium because of this strategy, that will be remarkable.
Indeed it will be. Right now, Harry was breathing down Wiku's neck, but now Wiku has a bit of breathing space, but someone who's not getting a break is Jared Fosbury. Lewis is right back up the back of him as well. Jared loses the back end a little bit, so he might be struggling a little bit. Could we see a move soon?
And we have someone out. It's Casper. Oh no, it's not Casper. It's at a resting point of Brandon Villagers in Eau Rouge. I'm going on with Tom. Is it Eau Rouge or is it not? It looks like on the mini map. It looks like he lost it and crashed in the wall and then manually retired because of his cars. Driving a few meters.
He may have. I'm not sure. He may have retired from that. He may have thought, well, there's no point anymore because that's pretty much game over, so I may as well retire. But knowing this game, he might have actually crashed out of Eau Rouge, and then it might have, the game might have retired for him straight after. You never know with this game, honestly.
Nearly Rico got endless breathing space because of Felix lost it a bit in Bloshima, but saved his car again. So yeah, and we're doing pressure on Rico. It's closing the gap. So yeah, maybe if there's no try in the end, we have a little fight between these two. And for Logan, we forgot to speak about him. Yeah, he has a tire advantage between him and Rico, and he's it's a positive thing for him. He's building a good gap, almost 2 seconds. So yeah, it's nice to see. But also Rico, I think he's at the moment on the point where he's starting to struggle a bit on his tires. It's only 7 or 8 laps left, so yeah, it's pretty much
yeah, it has to be mentioned, by the way, the track looks pretty evenly dry now across all of it. It doesn't look like there's really a dry line anymore.
Yeah, that was the point what I saw the last few laps, I spoke about Felix before or something, that we have a dry line was drying up more and more. Now we have the whole track drying up, and I think the rain's getting less and less. So yeah. Maybe someone's risking it and goes at the end of the race to the pits, and yeah, maybe.
Could be an interesting thing
Close
if Logan pit right now. Say that Wiku and Felix Bond didn't pit, he would still come out in third. It looks like. So he's in quite a comfortable position. If once he did pit, he'd only be a few seconds behind him as well. So Logan has himself in a very, very good position at the moment. Excuse me.
And if he's still crashing out of this, say, and he's pitting, maybe Lewis doesn't jump. But we need to keep an eye on Lewis and Gerard.
When Kieran Spears gets I'm going to say another pen. I think I saw it in a pen earlier.
Just don't go in his race directly, please. That was a few laps ago, and you don't want to see this.
Oh, and Harry's retired. There's a virtual safety, or where has he retired? It looks like the top of our Rouge.
Yes. If you're going on spot with Kieran, we maybe see it. No, I think it's covered.
Yeah, it looks like he just crashed.
It looks like. So we have Cameron Armstrong in the pits. That's interesting. Is he gonna go on to the soft comments? Don't tell me he is.
No, he's putting on another set of inters. And a new wing. That's fine.
Second. I thought for a second that he is. But it looks like...
And DRS is enabled.
Oh, that's a bad call from Cameron Armstrong. Because of every driver says
in comes Logan
activated.
And Wiku now. Very good for him. He put himself in P2 with that strategy, and he will end up retaining it as surely, into the pits he comes, and Felix is going to follow him, and he's a few seconds down the road. Everyone will be pitting now. Right, if anyone stays out, then someone has stayed out. Lewis has stayed out.
Yeah,
and also Lee Kelly.
Yeah. And Logan's coming out.
Wiku was serving a pen, it looks like. It looks like Wiku was serving a pen. Will Felix beat him out? Felix did beat him out. Oh, that's...
It is. That's...
I mean, I can only assume that it wasn't deserved, unless... Well, no, it probably was one of those that wasn't deserved.
Yeah, maybe it was, maybe I would say it was under a safety car needed, you know, the glitch, touching someone, but it was not touched, and then you get from Godmaster slicing 10 penalties. I thought at first it was that, but he hasn't seen a safety car yet, so... Yeah.
It was probably something that wasn't deserved, because also you could say that like he sped in the pit lane, but I am pretty sure it doesn't serve them straight away. It serves them at the stop after you sped, not the stop that you
Lewis and Lee stayed out on the risking, but look at the gap between them and Felix. Felix is going on every point, getting 1/10 out of it. Yeah, and what I wanted to say, nearly we lost it. What I wanted to say is that I thought normally that when Rico don't need to serve a pan, that he will get big pressure from Felix. But we don't see this fight coming. Sadly to say that Rico's strategy is not working completely out, but maybe he can hold himself out of Jared and getting a podium.
He's just got back in within DRS range. He's within 9/10 now. He will get DRS down the start-finish straight at least, as he loses if he can, but should gain that back in DRS.
So Lewis is in, Lee stayed out. Because that's the fastest third sector.
I really don't think this is a good call from Lee. It's way too dry. Like, if he stays out, he'll be spinning very soon. And if he doesn't spin, he'll just be extremely slow. You can kind of understand Lewis because his teammate came in on that lap. So if he pit, he would have lost probably more time, I think.
Safety car, there it is, and Casper. There we have our safety car. Oh, that will spice things up because of Logan is his lead.
And that will allow Lee to pit now. So
but
lucky for him.
Yeah, but it will be interesting. I think safety car will come in on lap 20 latest or 19, but we have lots of green flag racing left. But yeah, what I wanted to say, Logan is his big leading gap will small down with the safety car.
And in comes Cam as well, after previously pitting for Inters, when if he pit for softs in that lap, he would have gained so much. It's
at the moment where he was on the pit exit, the DRS was activated.
Well, to be honest, looking at the track, I think it would have been worth the chance, because he would have lost so much that you may as well chance the softs, but he opted against it, and I guess the safety car is going to help him out to stay in 10th and now 9th because of Casper's crash.
Yeah, and we talk about at lap 14 of maybe a try end of the race.
Oh no, wait.
100% sure.
Oh, sorry, keep going. Oh, I'm gonna... Sorry.
We talked at lap 14 about it, maybe an engine on the end of the race, try power. I wasn't 100% sure because it was heavy raining, and then saw that after he was saying that we have no ideal dry line. And after saying this, I was pretty sure we have try end of the race. Now with the safety car and our cars hopefully come close together, we have an action field at the end of the race.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I said that Epic pit, and that's why Lewis didn't pit, but I should have said Felix, because Felix is the other Haas, and he was ahead of Lewis, so that's why he stayed out the extra lap. Lee, it looks like, was actually looking to go to the end on his tires, so that would have been an interesting strategy to see, but of course, it's completely dry, so obviously that wouldn't have worked. So he's P6 after that safety car. And of course, Logan continues to lead the race. He has led almost every lap. I think 1 or 2 laps was led by people who didn't pit quite yet.
No, I think he was leading the whole race. Obviously not start, but I think it's from lap 2 on. Did you want to get spoiled from the time penalties or not?
Wait, what?
Should I spoiler you what you're saying about time penalties?
Nah. Keep it for the end. Spice up the end a little extra.
Okay. Then I won't do that. What? What was that? Popped on your screen a 3-second time penalty for jump rule up?
He probably just
on my screen was on my screen was something from Tom Jewel popping up. I don't know, it was time penalty or something else. But what I'm asking is, why can Tom Jewel not unlock himself?
Because the game doesn't allow it. Basically, if you can unlap yourself if you haven't been lapped yet. So like, it's not really even unlocking yourself. Well, he's gonna actually go past, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna get told to give the position back.
Yeah, 5 time penalty, but he will let everyone pass. These people is disqualified.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Unfortunately, the game is unfortunately like that. In real life, they're allowed on map themselves, but not in the game.
Yeah, that's Codemaster's logic.
So now we have. Oh no, we don't. I was gonna say we have a Haas 1-2. I keep thinking that Logan's in the Haas for some reason.
Yeah, we have but you shouldn't forget we have Evan on 9th place who lagged out at the beginning of the race and he's still in 9th position. Hopefully he won't get his points because if he isn't driving the race. And hopefully Armstrong can close to the field at the end of this lap. Finally the safety car comes in.
I should. Jeez, that was a nice crack. Should be in this lap, I would assume, because then that would give us at least 2 laps of racing. Yeah, in this lap.
So yeah, it should be. Oh yeah, Logan's giving the pace at the moment. He's going really slow.
And I'm sure. Oh no, Elon is actually like that, isn't he? Well, then Cameron Armstrong will be hoping that he holds up the grid for a little longer, because he's almost caught up, but he's still a little bit off.
I think Logan will go full throttle on the chicane or maybe in this Belgium.
Oh, that is so unfortunate for Cameron. Because the E1's car was going really slow. Oh no, he'll still catch up actually, so...
Logan has gone full throttle when I thought it right. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. And Felix touched him. Hopefully no penalty for him. Then we have, oh my god, for Osrikas wide into turn 1. Lewis touched his teammate, but Felix stays ahead.
Did Lewis just make like a double overtake there? Or did Jared lose out a lot?
But now, retreat through a roost. Clean boys. Yes, they did. So Lee fighting now for the podium after stretching his intermediates. Oh, that will be an interesting end of the race, and already now Logan pulls out a gap. Yeah, and then we have Rico and Jared fighting. 45.
Also, Kieran Spears trying to get involved in this is 3 wide.
Yes.
As Kieran gets up on the grass a bit, but he actually makes the double overtake work. Yeah, so 2 places up for Kieran Spears. He'll be happy with that.
So yeah, we have both Haas behind each other, fighting for the 2nd place, and Logan's already pulling out again a gap from 2 seconds, so Felix won't have the arrows to become straight. It will be maybe crucial for him. No, and Lewis lost it, and he's out of the race. Hopefully no one's driving into his car.
Massive crash.
Yeah, he lost the back end, and I think it was a bit of commentator's curse, maybe, because I spoke about US on the Cameron Street.
Yeah, Felix and Logan both... Oh, looks like... Okay, I thought I was getting a glitch for a second, but it looks like people actually did... Yeah, about like 5 cars used up the maximum ERS amount allowed in my lap. So now Kieran Spears is looking for a podium after his double overtake the previous lap, so this would be a great charge right at the end for him on the last lap. He's in Lee's slipstream. Lee will benefit from a little bit of DRS after... Oh no, he won't actually, because of the safety car being in recently.
Yeah, I remember that Kieran got a few pop-ups through the race. That's what I'm remembering, and Lee maybe popped up 1 or 2 times, too. But I'm not sure how it stands from
I
penalties.
thought he might have got a penalty from that. Kieran went a little wide, but
But I hope
he
Felix
fixed it.
got no penalty from coming so close with Logan on the safety car restart. Because if you know, Coke Masters in this has 5-second time penalties for causing a collision or wasn't a collision.
Yeah, if he got it there, I mean, he won't be pinning again, so he'll be able to get it removed if he did get one. As long as he hasn't served it, so yeah, obviously he wouldn't have. As Kieran gets
And
that
there is
penalty again.
that's definitely his podium over. So maybe Jared can.
He's still going to try and get it on track, though. He'll be in the slipstream.
Yes.
He's got a little more overtake to use than Lee. Lee will lose his just about now. So in this last bit of the straight, he's going to be a lot quicker. He's going to go to the left. He's going to try the long way around and then have the inside for the next corner. Lee is going to try and squeeze him as much as he can. But it looks like Kieran will take it at least on track.
Yeah, at least on track.
Kieran takes it on track,
Yes,
but Jared actually takes the podium.
Yeah.
And
gets on the podium,
also
that was
Wiku gets promoted up into P4 after pens. Ewan McGregor's car gets promoted up to 7th, although he didn't do any of the race. So
Wiku surprising in P4. He's not getting podium, but it's sad for him. But I need to say, really good strategy call from you, Wiku. If you're hearing this, I'm putting my head up for this. But Logan winning the race. Yeah, he was quite dominating the race, I will say. After the last 2 races, getting a bit of bad luck, crashing out on Canada a few times, and then in Italy getting not the best start. And end of the race.
Didn't really put a foot wrong today, Logan. Didn't really see him lose the car at any point or anything. He just seemed really in control of it, and
so
obviously the win shows it.
So yeah, we have Logan around winning the race out of Felix Negua, Jared Fosbury, Rico Meyer, Kieran Spears, Leroy. It's Lee Kelly. Right, Ewan McGregor, who hasn't finished.
Cameron Armstrong will actually be 7th there.
Karen Armstrong on 8th, Tom on 9th, and Lewis crashed out on 10th. So we had how many drivers starting the race? We have 19 and was crossing the line, only 9 of them, or maybe if even gets his car or his race result removed, then we have only 8 cars who make it to the line. So that looks like typical Spa race and Spa and rain, obviously. So yeah, and I will invite the drivers for the podium interviews.
Thank you.
So that's what I need to look for, Logan. I stopped my game. Thank you for that. Logan. Seems epic. Hopefully I find his name. Searching.
There's Felix in.
Yeah, we have a second third position already in the party.
And George.
Searching for Logan.
Oh, oops. I should be able to get him. I'll suggest him. There you go. I suggested him.
Yes, that's good to see.
I can't hear Felix or Jared
I'm
right
here.
now. Okay.
We are here. We're just quiet.
Okay. Well, that's good. I was hoping there was none that time. especially with two people. That would be pretty unfortunate.
Hopefully, Logan comes in.
Yeah, we'll give a second for Logan, and we'll start with him.
There it is.
Yeah.
Good internet connection. There it is.
There. So, Logan, you're here now. I can hear you well, Stephanie?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, obviously today, you didn't take the poll, but after you took the lead, you didn't really look back, did you?
No, I chose my setup was 100% for a race setup, and it was 100% for the wet. I committed fully to it. I reacted to a tendency that's happened in this game a lot, where it usually seems to stay wet longer than it says. It actually dried up quicker than I was anticipating, but you know, I didn't complain. I had enough of a gap that I kind of just reacted to what was happening around me. I saw DRS enabled, and I'm like, well, I guess it's pit time. I stressed out a little bit on that final safety car because, I mean, who wants to see a safety car when you got a gap? But luckily, there must have been a mistake behind me because I felt a bump in my butt coming out. He must have thought that I was going to launch immediately coming out of the corner, but I wanted to hesitate a second so it wasn't too predictable. And also my rear tires were really cold, so I didn't want to get on the power too hard. But, you know, luckily it played out for me, and, you know, not bad for a, quote, typical American, eh, boys?
Yeah.
Good race, everyone else, by the way.
I'm gonna have a look at the next race that is at Zandvoort. Obviously, you took the win in a dominant fashion here. Obviously, few people behind you kind of struggling with the conditions. Were you actually struggling at all, really? Because it didn't look like you were.
No, and I don't want to sound like a douche, but like I was holding back. I could have pushed more if needed. I pushed in the last lap, and I pushed like my first couple laps of inters, but then I saw that the gap was staying about the same. There was a couple moments where I was thinking, because I play with most of my HUD off, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's a guy in third or fourth that would be pushing up and was faster than me. I didn't know it, but I was thinking, you know, just save my resources, don't get a penalty because maybe a late safety car, and you know, just do what I got to do to manage the gap. But yeah, I was ready to push harder. I'm very prepared with, I have a dry and a completely wet setup for race pace on every track. I'm ready for the wet, and I love the wet.
Well, yeah, it seemed like you did. Next race is Zandvoort, so how do you like that track?
I do like the track. I feel like there's more opportunities to overtake than people give the track credit for. I have had one league race there, and I had it, and it was a dynamic race, so I have experience racing on both the wet and the dry. It's an interesting track, though, because everyone's been grinding the new track really hard, so everyone that's any good at the game is very strong at that track. So, I mean, I'm hoping to just keep the string of podiums going, you know. I'm 100% for podiums when I don't get hit so far, so I guess I just gotta, you know, race my race and honestly just hope for some wet again. I'll take some more wet races.
Yeah, congratulations anyway on your I'll call it dominant win, because it was really, and good luck for next week. Obviously Felix finished second. Tim, you can take him, you know, German. Taking the German, I guess.
Felix. I don't ask him the questions in German, it would be too hard for you guys. So yeah, where I was starting, obviously, like in Italy, it was a good start from you, was already a few laps high up. I saw you struggling in a few laps in some corners. We would say these conditions, today make it harder to fight with other people's.
Yeah, I mean, I think my race pace in general was quite solid. I really loved the full wet conditions. Then obviously had a bit of luck with the VSC coming out. I reacted fairly quickly. Then dived into the pits, had a huge undercut, obviously, and in combination with that virtual safety car, I managed to dump Jared, which was really good. But then I was struggling quite a lot in the Inters conditions. It took me like 5 laps to actually get used to the track and everything. But yeah, in the end I had some solid pace today. In the dry, I was really glad it wasn't that dry. I think because the Haas really doesn't feel too good under normal race conditions. So in the end, I was actually glad that it was raining that heavily. Huge congrats to Epic.
Hey, thank you, man. Good race.
Thank you. I think he dominated basically from start to finish. I think Jared has to look at the car locations once again for next week, because he was leading by like 20 seconds, which is absolutely out of this world. But yeah, I think P2 was the maximum today, and I'm really happy with that one.
You said it already, the VC at the beginning of the race was really good for you. The safety car at the end of the race. As I'm right, you jumped Rico in the pits because of his, 5-second time penalty, but he needed to sit down. In the end with the safety car, you were all on soft. Did you play with the thinking that you can maybe win the race? Or did you thought maybe defending second or even the podium?
I actually thought about maybe I have a chance. I actually had in mind that Epic might be running a wet setup through the entirety of the race, and it turns out he did. But obviously I was pretty scared of Schnitzel because he had some good pace behind me. Like I said, I didn't feel comfortable in the dry. On that safety car restart though, bit dodgy for my likings, because for me it seemed like he went under normal race conditions with his normal pace through bus stop. So we all accelerated, and then suddenly out of the corner he decelerated, which seemed a bit dodgy to me. The stewards might have a look at that, but I'm not sure. I only saw it like live, and then I didn't really think about it. But yeah, very unfortunate for Schnitzel behind me. I had to jump on the brakes, so did he, but he couldn't avoid me anymore, got front wing damage. But in the end, I'm just really happy to come away with P2, and once again to not get any pens, which is not that typical for me.
Yeah, maybe we can build consistency on not getting pens. We're heading next week to Zandvoort, aka Netherlands, from maybe experience from the career or the Grand Prix. Or do you say you're fast on the Netherlands, or maybe, getting a feel for the track, maybe with a wet race next week?
Not too sure. I mean, I like the track, I like the layout, it's really fun, really fast track, difficult to overtake, I'd say. But I didn't really have much experience with it. Only had 2 My Team races in there, and did a bit of time trial at the start of this game, but I didn't have a league race in there so far, and didn't really sweat at all. So I have no idea, but I don't think my pace is going to be too great. But with 2 podiums in the bag, obviously it would be nice to keep the streak on, to keep the streak on going. But I think it's going to be a tough task to do, and everything inside the top 6 or something, I'd be really happy with. And now I just get to think race by race, because I think now I'm actually not in a bad position in the championship. And as long as I'm not put in the Williams, what I don't think, because I'm by far not the quickest driver on the grid, I think I could actually have chances for the championship. But obviously I gotta go race by race, and I think Netherlands is gonna be one I'm gonna struggle with.
So I wanted to ask you about the championship. With you missed round 1 obviously, and you said already that you were going race by race. So that's good to hear. Then good luck for next week.
Thank you.
And now we go to Jared Fosbury.
Yep.
No bottle today. Obviously you got P3.
Surprise.
And I think you retain your championship lead as well there as well, because the 2 guys ahead of you were a little bit behind in the championship compared to you, so I think you do retain that. How was your race today, Jared?
Well, I told you last week, Spa isn't my favourite track, and IRL F5 Tim's got the advantage for Spa, but you know, I'm a bit annoyed in a way because I had the pace to win, and you know, people said I was too quick for the Merc, but it's kind of proven them a little bit wrong because one of those fellow drivers was in the Haas today, a bit of a downgrade compared to the Alpha. But yeah, I can't fault Logan or Felix. They did a good job. Logan was possibly a little bit too quick in that AlphaTauri. Maybe he has to go in the Alfa Romeo next time, but he did a good result to get the win, and he was unstoppable. Even on me and Felix's good day, we couldn't touch him. So the race went well. I wasn't really that confident on the wets. You can see Lewis Curtis was all over me. I just had no pace with the dry setup. And then the inters came. I started getting the pace, but the traction was completely awful. And since I'm new with wheel and no ABS this year, like fully, it's still getting used to with the wets and that. But it is getting there. But no, I was a bit annoyed with the safety car restart because I'm not saying Logan was in the wrong or anybody like that, but cheeky Lewis Curtis overtook me actually after the start, like before the start-finish line, and it cost me 2 positions from Lee. And I was actually going to go for a lunge on Schnitzel, and I couldn't make the move because I couldn't get by, and it almost gave me wing damage. But it's been an alright race. It's good damn fighting for a championship. I want to be a champion again. It has been a while. But, you know, it's with these two drivers, Felix and Logan, it's going to be a fight to the very end, and hopefully it is to spice up the championship fight.
Yeah, you said didn't quite like the safety car restart, but when the safety car came out, what were you? What was your thoughts on that, just initially?
It kind of ruined me because I was expected to put more pressure on Felix, and I wanted him to bottle, like Vettel. But you know, as I said, on his good day or average day, I can't touch Felix. It doesn't matter what car you put me in. Felix was just
That
on
sounds
form.
weird. Please rephrase that a little bit.
He's just on form, you know. My controller just decided to die.
I was wondering why you suddenly
2
paused.
seconds. But no, as I was saying, Felix on his good day, you know, you can't stop him, and today was one of his good days, but he wasn't good enough to catch Logan. But safety car cost me, I think, as well. So it's disappointing. Still got a podium though. As I said, I wasn't expecting the podium, so I'm a bit annoyed, but I'm over the moon. And also, just to make one thing clear to Thomas Stewart, I actually didn't tell you to unlap yourself. So I don't know who's told you that, but that wasn't me. Just to get that clear.
Alright then. Next race is Zandvoort. You like the track, dislike it, you think you could do well?
Well, with the car allocations next week, everybody else except me is going to be in a Renault 2006, and I'm going to be in the 2004 Ferrari. But, nah. Yeah, Zandvoort, it's an alright track. It's an ABS track, so it's an ABS advantage, but I think I've got what it takes. I might be in the Merc, I might be in the Ferrari. It depends where everybody is on pace. As I said, car allocations still need adjusting for each track, so it just varies, and we'll just wait and see. Maybe some wet weather could come in and cost me. Maybe some dry weather could help me out, and I can, you know, do the reverse on Felix and get ahead of him for the next round.
Alright then. Congratulations on your P3 anyway, and good luck for next race. That has been IRL FP for today at Spa round 3. Once again, of course, I'm not sure if I'll be here next week, if Thomas will be back or not. But yeah, be sure to join us next week at Zandvoort. Hopefully that should be a good race, as this one was really. And yeah, apart from that, see you next week, and good night.